A live look at Tel Aviv, Israel, as we begin the show, where it's about 2 o'clock in the morning, and there are reports of strikes, Iranian strikes hitting Tel Aviv and central Israel, just happening in the last 30 minutes or so, as it is the middle of the night. That's when we've seen these happen. There have been strikes all day long in Tehran as well, as we follow these two nations continuing to trade blows. And the situation in the Middle East and Trump's engagement in it thus far has created a fracture in MAGA. Some of Trump's most popular supporters are now claiming that the president is dragging us into a war that the American people don't want. Steve Bannon, Tucker Carlson, others are now assuming that the United States is about to fully engage in a regime change and a war in Iran. An assumption made after Trump sent additional military assets to the Middle East on Monday, as Israel and Iran continue to trade nightly blows, as we are seeing. Take a listen to two of Trump's biggest surrogates, the most popular surrogates he has, Tucker Carlson and Steve Bannon on Monday. Take a listen.
What the is going on in this city that just drives this city, whether you're Barack Obama or Donald Trump? If we don't throw down now in the summer of 2025, we're not going to have a country.
We allowed the architects of the Iraq War, who gravely injured the United States, got all these people killed, Americans killed, to continue to advance. How did we do that?
The specter of that is what we've faced over the last 72 hours. This is exactly the same pitch as the Iraq War. We're in a shooting part of the Third World War. The Third World War is not about to start. It has started. The next 200 days are some of the most perilous times for the American Republic in its history. Because if we don't get this sorted, we're going to be drawn in totally into a conflict as a combatant.
World War III has already begun, Steve Bannon. Well, Tucker tweeted out on Friday, the real divide is between warmongers and peacemakers. Who are the warmongers? They would include anyone calling on Trump to demand airstrikes and other direct U.S. military involvement in a war. And he names Sean Hannity, Mark Levin, Rupert Murdoch, and many others. Then last night, Trump left the G7 summit early, returned to the White House, went into the Situation Room today with top advisors in the National Security Council. And then he tweeted out unconditional surrender as a message to Iran, saying that we have control over the skies over Iran, and indicating the Ayatollah could easily be killed but is safe for now. After that, and all that came after, I should say, a leak to Axios that American strikes were on the table. So MAGA Twitter has really exploded since all that, right? Jack Posobiec tweeting out, no regime change wars, thank you. And plenty more tweets just like it from some very popular people in MAGA world. Sean Ryan, Rob O'Neill there, you see that, and other people, other conservatives in the country. There's a picture of Trump and George W. Bush's faces blended together, which is clever. And the divide is very real, obviously, but nobody said that it was logical. How quickly these people have forgotten just how much this man hates war and despises the war machine that has done so much damage to this country. The reason that so many people that vote for Trump hate war is because he convinced them of how bad it is. Trump hates the Bush family for killing Saddam Hussein and turning Iraq into a nightmare. He can't stand the Bush family. Do you really think he's going to make the same exact mistake? You think he's going to throw this country that he leads into a regime change war in the country right next door that's just as unfamiliar to the American people as Iraq was? Here's how Trump has sounded for the past 10 years consistently.
Our opponents join with warmongers and neocons to wage endless wars, these wars that never end. We got out of these ridiculous, endless wars, killing people on both sides, costing trillions of dollars. We are never going back to a party that wants to give unlimited money to fight foreign wars that are endless wars, that are stupid wars. Instead of endless wars, we want a real plan for victory. We will abandon the policy of reckless regime change favored by my opponent.
All the way back to 2016. Do you think that that guy is dragging us into a regime change war in the Middle East? Do you really think he's doing that? Or is he just blasting noise to force the Islamic regime to capitulate to Israel and to the West? One last chance, right? Throw out a little leak to Axios that U.S. bombs are potentially on the table. Send our assets into the Middle East as intimidation, because it's really scary when they show up. Get all the talking heads, myself included, chatting about a possible U.S. invasion. And if Iran doesn't blink, then maybe you throw Israel a couple of those $4 million bunker busters, and you get the popcorn out as a mountain collapses in northern Iran and the Fordo nuclear base explodes. Does that make a little more sense based on what you know about Donald Trump? Right now, there's a lot of noise that's probably being drummed up over nothing. And it's funny to see this fracture. People that have followed Trump for all of these years get to this point. You know, if you've gotten this far with him and you bail now, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Trump negotiates like this. This is what he does. This is how he does. Remember the tariffs early on? He scared the hell out of everybody. I thought they were going to have heart attacks on CNBC. It's the posturing. In the end, he only wanted, what, a 10% tariff? All those big numbers and all that noise and everything like that. This is negotiation from somebody that's really good at it. He's been doing it for like 50 years. I wouldn't fall for the noise on X. I wouldn't fall for Tucker and Bannon, as much as you probably love them. In yesterday's podcast, both of them determined that Tulsi Gabbard was being left out of the negotiation on all of this because she had said back in March that Iran was not developing nuclear weapons. Well, today, Tulsi was at a congressional hearing, no cameras allowed, but she clarified in that hearing that she and the president actually agree on this and said too many in the media, probably talking about Tucker and Bannon, didn't actually listen to her full statement on Iran, only clipping the first part. So, for you, here is the full clip from back in March.
The IC continues to assess that Iran is not building a nuclear weapon, and Supreme Leader Khamenei has not authorized the nuclear weapons program that he suspended in 2003. The IC continues to monitor closely if Tehran decides to reauthorize its nuclear weapons program. In the past year, we've seen an erosion of a decades-long taboo in Iran on discussing nuclear weapons in public, likely emboldening nuclear weapons advocates within Iran's decision-making apparatus. Iran's enriched uranium stockpile is at its highest levels and is unprecedented for a state without nuclear weapons.
So the full statement there, obviously she starts off with what's being mentioned, but at the end she says it is unprecedented to have this much enriched uranium and not be building weapons. She's obviously a bit malleable on what the situation is in Iran. Pretty clear that she was uncertain and how rapidly that can change. You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us, we're different. We report the real news, no spin, just the facts. Turn to us and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmitt tonight on Newsmax.